Welcome to Kaleidoscope of the Arts. And today I have a special co-host with me, Karen Festero, because we have a Dee Dee Gozion that's not feeling well. She's under the weather. And you're listening to WKDW 97.5 FM, the Real Community Radio out of Northport, Florida. And we're here today for Kaleidoscope of the Arts. And you're listening on the Bishop West Real Estate Tower out of Northport, Florida. And I'm going to talk to Karen about things that are happening at the Northport Arts Center. And I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear my phone while I'm turning it off. Karen, go ahead and tell me what is going on this Friday night there.
Friday night, we have our reception for our show that's called Wet and Wild. And we've had over 100 pieces come in for this exhibit. And it's been judged. There will be awards given out. And we also will have great refreshments and libations. It's open to the public. Starts at 6:30 till 8 o'clock. And everyone is welcome. So it should be a fun evening.
Well, Karen, tell me more about it. It's fun. Where is it? At the Northport Arts Center, 5950 Sam Chapo's Way. Be there or be square.
Square, that's right.
Yeah, be there or be square.
Right.
Also, you just had a reception there about the art of war with Sergeant Philip Moore that Greg Stubbe was at and presented him with some awards. And actually, from that art of war and Greg Stubbe being there, he's commissioned Sergeant Philip Moore, for making a larger size rendition of one of his paintings for his office in DC. So how great is that? And talking about the art of war, it'll be at the Art Center till the end of December, correct?
Correct, yes.
And then where is it going to be?
From there, it's going to be a traveling show. It'll be going to City Hall. It should be at City Hall for 3 months, I think, give or take.
January, February,
and then
March.
From there, and this is really exciting, I just found out today, it will be going to the Military Museum in Punta Gorda.
Yeah, the Military Heritage Museum, April, May, and June. It will be there. It's the art of war. It's renditions of pictures that Philip was deployed over in Iraq for 3 tours. Mm-hmm. He suffers from PTSD. One of the ways of healing is he learned to take those photographs that he did and put them on canvas. Or is that what you do on canvas?
It's on a sanded paper.
Okay.
It's pastel. It's pastel painting, and it's on a sanded paper.
And he's colorblind. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. So
it's amazing. That day was one of the
highlights.
It was a day of emotional roller coaster. It was the most amazing day, and his exhibit is amazing. And like Marie said, it is at the Art Center, and you'll be able to enjoy it. There is a fundraiser involved where Philip has set up a scholarship program where other veterans can apply and get free classes so they too can experience the healing power of doing art.
Yeah, and Michelle, his wife, and Philip, I had talked to them the other day when I told them that they had the Military Heritage Museum. Thank you, Gary Butler, for having them come in. But they've raised, I think, over $10,000 already for scholarships. Yes. So that's fantastic. Now we're going to bring up one of our other people, and we do have a special guest, and I want everybody to hang in there, Kelly Johnston from Ikea.
Marie, can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say one more thing to everybody out there, either watching or listening, is if you know a veteran that you feel would benefit from this, we are looking for veterans to apply for these scholarships so that they can do this artwork, and they don't have to be artists, but it's just the idea of expressing themselves.
Healing through art. It really is healing through art. Okay, we're going to bring on Gale West here. Hi, Gale.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, and I know Karen is filling in today, so she must be doing pretty good. And how about you, Gail? Before we get
You
going,
get out of bed first thing in the morning. All right, feet are on the ground. You're doing great.
you're
Yeah.
doing
I
good.
want to jump in on this, talking about the art of war. I want people to know one of the ways that they can get involved is they can make a donation, or they can buy a calendar. You go directly to the Art Center website. Yes, and click on that. I think it's amazing. This would be a special calendar that you could give to the men in your life, because it does depict the scenes of when he was in battle. Now, that is refreshing for some individuals to be able to see that. It brings back different types of memories. And one of the reasons that he got involved in the art of painting and pastels and stuff was to help deal with PTSD. So I want people to know that painting, artistry, different types of things, the way you can express, so you can show emotion, that you can get it out there. Anyone with PTSD, doesn't matter whether they're in military, could be anything. I remember after Hurricane Charlie came through and, took out my house, and destroyed the trees in my backyard, I remember someone coming up and asking me, to go join an art class. And basically it was to put down your feelings. And my feelings that particular time was, I did trees that were black and they had no leaves on, because that's what it represented. And I remember feeling so relieved after I did that, because that was the only way I could express my feeling at that time.
Well,
So I think the arts are critically important, and I want to make sure that they go to the Art Center website and click on at the top of there, going to say Art of War. Click on there, order a calendar, give it to someone you love, get several copies.
Yeah,
You'll be helping
absolutely.
the foundation. Yes.
Okay, and I want to get Kelly up here soon, because I know she has a busy day. I can bring Kelly up on the side so we can see her there. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I wanted to talk before we even talk about your event, Kelly. We're going to talk about Kaleidoscope of the Arts. This is something that I'm the chair of. It's if anybody knows me, I have one of these weird brains that I don't like doing the same old events out there that people do. And I really love the one that the Art Center used to do. They used to do the gallery heights. Actually, the hat I have on, the Great Art Heist, I think it was called, right, Karen? And
Yeah.
I loved it because you always walked away with a piece of art. But there's a lot of work involved, and the ROI for the Art Center, it took so much work, and they were not making very much money out of it. And I said, you guys got to think smarter, not harder. And because of being involved, we have Jim Shirley from the Arts and Cultural Alliance of Sarasota County on our show once a month as one of our co-hosts. He's a Chamber of the Arts for Sarasota County. Now, in case any of you guys don't know this, the arts in Sarasota County are some of the they bring in over $400 million a year into Sarasota's economy, and they're one of the top employers in Sarasota County. And I don't even know, Kelly, if you guys knew that, but that's one of the things that we have to elevate the arts in Northport. When people are retiring or businesses are coming in, that's something that they look for. Now, the average age in Northport is about 44 now because of the Welland Park people moving in. Those are more retired people and older people. The average age of the used to be like 38, 40. But as older people are moving in and retiring and more elevated, maybe income too, around the Brave Stadium in there, we are finding that there's a desire for the arts and they have to go out of county. But do they? People don't know what's in the city of Northport for the arts. So that's where Kaleidoscope of the Arts come. The Northport Art Guild, which is the Northport Art Center, is putting on an event, and we have to hold it. And this is another thing for Kelly to even realize. In Northport, there is no venue that you can serve alcohol at that's large enough to hold an event that's more upscale. So we're going to the plantations in South Venice. And the reason for that is yes, there's Heron Creek, but they can only hold between 150 and 200 people. And if we don't want to go to the gym or the Morgan Center or any of those places or at the high school because people like to drink evidently here and want an upscale meal. So, but not only that, people don't know what's offered here. So what I and everybody agreed to go along with this brain here. We're having Kaleidoscope the Arts, an intoxicating evening of discovery into the arts of Northport. And what that means to all of you is we're not only going to have that event there, but we're having an upscale meal. And who cares about that? I do, but I don't eat during these events because I'm too busy running around. But one of the things is we're having some of the best performers here. Iman Bisha is coming and she's singing. She's from America's Got Talent. She's the young girl, the opera singer. She will be performing. Tammy Rooney is a singer-songwriter. She was named top female singer-songwriter of the year. Northport has a symphony. Did you guys know that? They're going to be performing. Northport Concert Band, they're going to be performing. Northport Chorale, they're going to be performing. Rockbox, School Stage and Music and Stage, they're performing. I have a harpist playing during dinner. We have Common Grounds Meeting Hall, which is the radio station's performing little place that we bring in artists to perform. So there, and we have more layers. The Comfortbergs, and they're from actually it's Denise Berg and her husband and one of their friends that they play hillbilly type music. I think that's like cool, right? So we have a lot going on, which segues over, and you can go to the Northport Arts Center. It's January 15th and purchase your tickets there. There's a QR code. Anyhow, let's go to Kelly because I'm excited about your event because Gale West here and Marie LaBrosse, are going to be there representing the Northport Art Center, and we're actually doing a craft, right?
Yes.
Kelly,
Keychains. We'll be doing keychains with beads.
well, while I'm getting up some cute pictures here, you guys take it away, and I'm going off screen for.
Sure. All right, thank you. We're so excited that you're joining us. I mean, it was really important to us to have the arts represented at this event. I myself have an arts background. I'm a former artist and musician, so I want to support as much as possible what the Northport Art Center is doing. But we're so glad to have your support for this event because we wanted to bring something fun for the community to do that's also free, so everybody can join that wants to. So we decided to put together this fall festival, which is this Saturday, November 20th from 12 to 6. And we're going to have a couple live bands, the Champ Jackson Band, who's hugely popular in the area. The Flora Top Hits Band, they're out of Cape Coral, but they play a lot up here. And both bands are just high energy, super talented. We're really excited to have them. We're also going to have a DJ. We're going to have a free photo booth, a beer and wine tent. As Marie said, people like to drink, so we're bringing that here as well. All kinds of nonprofit booths and vendors, food vendors and some retail vendors. We have inflatables, games, a petting zoo, It's just going to be a lot for the whole family to enjoy. So we're really excited about it.
And we're excited to participate. And the reason why is, and Kelly, and for the audience to know, we want to talk a little bit about businesses that give back to their communities. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to highlight Ikea with giving back to the community, because if you look at who's going to be there, there's a lot of nonprofits, not only the Northport Arts Center, but I understand you're going to have CARES. This list isn't fully complete that's up on the screen right now. But another thing is food trucks. Now, you have a food truck Saturday. Every Saturday you have a food truck show up?
We do, and that's to highlight a local small business. We choose one food truck every Saturday, so that they get the, they're highlighted and they're the ones who are getting the attention while they're here. We do that every Saturday for lunch, so from 11 to 4. And that's been great because a lot of businesses have come out of the woodworks that we weren't aware of. And I think a lot of the people in this particular area weren't aware of either. I mean, so it's been nice to see the diversity and people who are doing great things with food around here. And just in general, whenever we have a chance to support local small businesses or local nonprofits, we do as much as we can, because obviously a healthy community means healthy business, So we understand the symbiosis there, that, if everybody's lifted, then we all do well.
Absolutely. Now, I see you have Toys for Tots. Are they accepting donations at this event?
As far as I know, yes, they are. But they also want to raise awareness about what they're doing over the holidays. But yes, as far as I know, they're accepting donations.
Yeah, and Toys for Tots, if you don't know, it's put together by Marines, but in each area. Gail, you probably even know more about this.
I just know that I've donated different times. I know, and it's really important for us to realize that there are some youngsters that may go without toys if we don't make some donations. So I really think it's important for us to get involved with the donations for them. So make sure you stop by the Toys for Tots. Everybody wants a gift for Christmas.
Right. And Habitat for Humanity you're having there, in case people don't know, they actually help people that get into a home, and they put sweat equity into it, and you have to qualify, but great. And your Rock Box Music, let me tell you, those guys, he has over 300 students at Rock Box Music, and that's in Northport off of Toledo Blade in one of the plazas there now. Drug-free Charlotte County. I mean, all of these are just fantastic nonprofits. And I'm looking at some of the vendors that you have. C&L Can Naturals, Linda's Leatherworks, the Elderberry Shop. Let me tell you, if you're thinking about Christmas and for gifts, support your local businesses.
Yes.
And also buy from these smaller vendors, which actually segues. Let me see here.
Marie, just really quick, I do want to note there is a nonprofit on there that's actually not very well known, and there are beer and wine booth sponsors. So I want to give them a big shout out. That's the Caribbean American Cultural Connections.
Oh yes.
Sonia
and Omar, they're so wonderful. And anytime we need their support, they jump. And they've been so great, and I'm really excited for them to be hosting the bar, essentially, because they're wonderful. And like I said, they're trying to do so much in the community to help kind of bridge cultural gaps and all that. And they're wonderful. So I wanted to make sure that they got a shout out too, because their initials are on there, but they deserve a lot of attention for what they're doing.
And I have to agree. I know Sonia. And I always forget. Is it her husband's name? Is
Omar?
Yeah.
He's
an awesome. Both of them are awesome. People. Awesome people. If you are looking at the Kia Fest, I just come to see what they do, because they always are in. I don't know, Gail. you've been around those guys. They're always so much fun to be around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm going to bring up onto the screen too something when you were talking about that, Kelly. Let me see if I can do this. I'm trying. For a lot of people back there, you may not know I tech this show besides talk on it. So I have to actually multitask here, and sometimes I'm not the greatest at doing that. So, okay. We have just been given the opportunity at the Northport Arts Center to be to really talk about Artist Sunday. Now, on Thanksgiving, you have Black Friday, you have Small Business Saturday. Well, on Sunday, it's Artist Sunday. And what we're asking people to do is on that Sunday, think about getting something through local artists, whether it's performing art, visual art, no matter what. Support your local artists. When they say starving artists, I mean, that's a true scenario there because a lot of people, yeah. In fact, Karen, can you talk about the starving artist? And Kelly probably didn't go into the arts because it's hard to make a living there.
Yeah, surprisingly I did okay, but it was a lot of work to get any traction with it. I ended up doing some commercial art, which I did pretty well in, but it's a tough field to break into if you're trying to make a living at it. But it's so vital to life that it's so vital. It's so vital, like Gale was saying, for emotional and mental health, but just for our culture, it's essential. So I still do whatever I can. It's because it's part of who I am, and I think it's a part of who a lot of us are.
Well, Kelly,
Marie, they don't have to wait till Sunday.
Well,
they don't have to wait. They can go anytime during the week to the art center and have an opportunity to buy some fabulous art. And I asked them to invite them to go into the gift shop because you'll find some creative art in there. And especially if you like jewelry, you've got to check out the bone art jewelry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing. It really is.
Yes. As a matter of fact, yesterday, one of the students came into the gift shop and she's having a little gathering for some old friends. She spent $200 on
just buying things.
Beautiful fused glass pieces.
Yeah.
And, we have such a great array of different artwork available that it's just amazing.
How good does it feel to buy an original piece of artwork too? I mean,
it's awesome. Yeah.
It's just the best.
It really is, Kelly. Yeah. And I didn't know, although looking at you, I should have guessed that you were some sort of performing artist, even besides visual, but performing artist, because I went to their Facebook page and I was looking and I didn't realize Kelly was doing commercials. And she's walking around with the phone and doing different things. And I go, she's a performing artist.
I'm more behind the scenes. I do a lot of the social media videos. Kevin, our owner, does all the official commercials, but I'm behind the scenes on all that. So,
well, tell us about the owner. And nobody's listening anyhow, so you can say whatever you want. Right.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I did not come from the automotive industry. So when I started working for Kia of Port Charlotte, I was a skeptic, like most of us are, about the industry. What's cool about this place is because of Kevin West, our owner, it's very unique. It's not your typical auto dealership. He really, truly cares about people. You can see it reflected in how the employees are here. And also, our whole branding is centered around it because he really believes in treating people right and helping the community and all of that. So I'm actually really proud to work here. And it's been probably my favorite job I've ever had. And that's saying something because I've had a lot. He's great.
And for the few times that I've met you out in the community, because I hadn't been going out because of COVID, I do all my shows this way.
Oh, yeah.
virtual. And with Giving Tuesday, and I'm going to segue back to that on Giving Tuesday, I'm having at the radio station virtually like this, but we'll be live on the radio at that time. We'll start at 10 in the morning, go till 6 p.m. But we have different nonprofits and businesses. Kelly, in case you guys want to come on and talk for 10
Yeah.
minutes, you're welcome to.
Okay.
That anybody that gives back, and which will segue to this, Giving Tuesday is a global generosity movement fueled by the power of social media and collaboration, unleashing the power of people to transform their communities in the world. It's a simple idea, whether it's making someone smile, helping a neighbor or a stranger out, showing up for an issue or people we care about, or giving some of what we have to those who need our help. Every act of generosity counts, and everyone has something to give. And when I'm talking about that, everybody here, and that's why actually I'm going to bring all of us back up on the screen differently now. And if you look here, be kind. That's all you have to do that day or any day is be kind to people. And that's all it takes in this world is to make it a better world is just be kind.
Right.
There's no reason, even if you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off, don't get road rage and take out your gun and shoot somebody like I carry one. But you know, different things, or somebody, you know, if you see somebody struggling there, hold the door open for them or do something, just a simple gesture. Or you, and this Christmas, Gil, Karen, Kelly, this Christmas, let's stop about giving stuff and let's stop about thinking about what to give, what people really need. And one of the things that I learned during COVID is people need companionship or a note or something like that. Stuff doesn't mean anything if you don't have people.
Yeah.
And as we get older, Gil and Karen, we purge. We're trying to get rid of stuff. And when I'm talking about that, I want people to really understand somebody may be struggling that they need a gas in their car. They may, with the prices and inflation going up, and that's a show for another time. But with that stuff happening in this world, we as people should look at your family, your friends, and really think about what they really need. Not what the stuff, not the stuff. They may need somebody, Gail, to just talk to, somebody to help them with their fundraising efforts. Gail has them. She's pretty much my co with this. But when you're looking out there, how can you make a difference in the people that surround you, their lives? And could it be that maybe they just need you to bring them over a meal? Maybe they need help with having somebody watch their kids. And I know Gail does that for her grandkids for her daughter all the time. But, you know, those gestures in life, and that's why, Kelly, I wanted to bring you on representing Ikea, but also as a good person, because that's something that Ikea as a business does, is they lift the community up. They're not there just taking your money and selling you a car. They're giving back to the community, and they're making the community being a very important part of their business.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the whole reason, my position exists because of that ethos. I mean, when we, especially with the buy sell this year, we had a pretty high profile buy sell. So when we transitioned to Ikea of Port Charlotte, I mean, it's part of our mission statement. It's part of our mission here is to do that, to give back. And we set aside a part of our budget every month to give back to the community. And you'll be hearing a lot more about that because we got big plans for 2022 as well.
Yeah, you know, and that's a lot of people do not realize this out there. Gail, Gail, you and I are out there always in the community. I know Karen is newer to being out there, but you and I are seasoned, Gail.
Oh,
Yeah.
seasoned,
I
yes.
used
Like
to
a good
say
steak.
old, and everybody correct me and say, no, Marie, seasoned. like, yeah, like salt and pepper, season when I'm out there and that. But
We've been around a while, okay?
you've
I
been around
agree.
a while. Well, I've lived in the community 34 years. I've lived in Charlotte County for 34 years.
I've
And
been here since 58.
Oh, wow.
Were you born here?
I was born in North Florida, but moved down here, raised in Michigan, but then came
Oh.
back to, I say I live in God's country in DeSoto County because I'm way out in the boonies, but I do I surprise people, I go to Northport. I've been involved in the Northport Chamber. And prior to that, I was involved I worked at the Inglewood Community Hospital, so I was involved in the community Inglewood Chamber out there, and I've been involved with the Charlotte County Chamber. So I'm just excited and about everything that's going on. And since you got me talking, I do have to say that Kelly and Kia Port Charlotte are going to be hosting the Manufacturing Day for the Leadership 2022 class.
Yes.
That's really exciting. And one of the things she said she really wanted to get involved and sponsor it and host that is because she wants people to know the positive side of automobile sales, and because we always see the
Yep.
negative. so I was really glad that she offered that, and I do know I have to tell you, she has Kia has made donations for the chamber. Let's say I almost purchased another silent auction kayak. But they give to the community. They're always involved in the community, and I think that's great. And many people, if they're not involved in some of these chamber activities and other things, they don't realize how giving Kia Port Charlotte really is.
Well, and Kelly, let's hear a little bit about your background. Where did you come from? Where were you born?
I was born and raised in Detroit, so I was surrounded by automotive when it
Motor
was still
City.
in Detroit. But shortly after I graduated high school, I ended up moving to California. So I lived in LA for almost 20 years. And that's where a lot of my creative pursuits paid off as far as the arts are concerned. But I was also a business owner there. I've always been involved in marketing, advertising, community relations. And I moved out here about 2 years ago to be with my parents. I know that's a familiar story. And ever since, it's been so wonderful. Obviously, I'm working here, and which was not expected. And learning the automotive industry has been really, really cool. And I've met a lot of great people. I'm now involved in the chamber. I'm on the board of the Chamber of Commerce for Northport. Things have happened very quickly and in such a positive way that it's obvious I'm meant to be here.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And, tell me a little bit about your art background, because you were saying,
Sure.
yeah, I want to hear about it.
I started off, the reason I actually moved to California is because I was accepted to go to art school there. Unfortunately, it was at Art Center, which is very expensive. So I didn't end up going to art school, but strangely enough, I ended up becoming an apprentice to a really well-established artist there. And I learned how to weld, and I learned how to do all kinds of, multimedia art. And I ended up developing metal sculpture and having a commercial metal sculpture line. This just all kind of happened. Yeah. And I also was a drummer in a band out there as well. So, yeah. So I had a lot of fun in California when it was still mildly affordable.
Yeah. So you're a visual artist, a performing artist, and do you play drums still?
Well, I do, but not out in the world. I'm not with a band or anything like that. But, I've been focused on just work and family life since I've been in Port Charlotte, Northport area. But I love music, and I love art. And I still get it out in small ways. Like I've made those face and hole photo boards that people like to take pictures. So I made one of those for our last event. I'm going to have one here at the at the Fall Fest as well. Just fun projects like that I still do a lot of. And yeah. Yeah, so it's great. I will always have the arts in my life. I mean, it's vital.
And you know, that's really, and this is one of the things too with people. When people get older, when you're raising a family, a lot of people have that inner desire, but because it's hard to make a living in that world and they've gone after a career. But
Yeah.
when they get older and they become empty nesters, or that they start doing the things that they really would love to do, and that's where you see them come out for the arts.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons that I was involved in Charlotte County with a lot of art things. So, like I was saying, that I was actually a former president of the Charlotte Players. I think, did I say that off air? And I also developed Comedy for a Cause, and I helped moved in the building and did the Disney Give a Day, Get a Disney Day, and facilitated that move and developed the Kids on Stage program. Now, when I go in, and Karen, I'm only new to their board there, and when I go in, I go in. I don't, and so does Gail. In fact, I drugged Gail into being on the board there too, because one of the misconceptions too, Kelly, because I don't know, I know you're on the board of the Northport Chamber now. One of the things that a lot of people go into a board without realizing, the board should be work. When you go in, there's a financial responsibility to that organization that you're on, that board, that you're supporting, but also you just don't go to hold a title.
No.
And there's a lot of people. Kelly, have you seen that a lot? Where you know, out in the world and stuff, that you see people come onto a board, and I know one person that was on 13 boards, and I said, "How can you do this?"
You spread yourself too thin if you're actually doing it right, you know? Yeah, and I mean, some people get involved in that because they have political aspirations or whatever, but you know, for me, the motivation is to help the community always, especially small businesses, because I was a small business owner. And it matters, you know, the type of support that a chamber gives and fellow business owners give. It really matters, especially when you're a small business. Yeah.
Kelly, do you still do your metal work?
No, I don't have a metal shop to work in anymore or anything. And honestly,
that's a lot of work. That's hard work.
It was a lot. Now I stick to painting mostly, painting and drawing, you know, and
do you do pastels? What kind of painting do you do? Oil?
I work in oils and acrylics. It depends what really what the subject is. If I'm doing an abstract piece, I mostly work in acrylics just because I like to work fast.
Do you have anything in your office that you've done?
No, unfortunately, I don't. They're all in my home or in other people's homes.
Oh, so that would be something to. I'd like to see some of your work.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I now that I am getting more familiar with Northport Art Center too, I would love to get more involved in that.
We could use you.
I actually used to teach fine art when I was in LA. So like for an after school program, and that was so rewarding.
Right. That's one of the, when I was talking about Kaleidoscope of the Art, one of the things is the Northport Art Center has to be out of their building within the next 5 years. Where they're at is owned by the city, and the city's going to be redeveloping that area. And one of the things is Northport needs a multifunctional building. They do. They need something that is multi-purpose, that not only can hold visual arts, performing arts, because the performing arts perform at the high school. They don't have their own location.
Right.
And we need a center that has a large enough footprint to have events at, that you can have a dinner and you can have performing arts and you can have lectures and you can have a stage that you can actually do different things on. And as I'm seasoned, I would love to see this come to fruition. And that's one of the reason we're trying to bring all the arts together and showcase to the community that we need this. With it being brought $400 million more being brought into the Sarasota County, and they're focusing this year on South Sarasota County, especially in Northport, with the Arts and Cultural Alliance, the Sarasota County.
That's a great suggestion also for the use of the surtax dollars. We can obviously get online and give the county suggestions on where we would like that surtax money to go. That's a great allocation as far as I'm concerned. You know,
I am too. As I was driving up 41 going north, because a lot of people, I do a history show too, and I know why all the city center and all that's out off of Price and stuff because of a general development bankruptcy. That's a story on my other show. But when I was going up 41 all the way past Welland Park and that, but there's a lot of property in between from War Mineral Springs all the way up to Welland Park. And I'm looking and go, where is a footprint large enough to put something that's centralized to the city of Northport where everything is? And I go, man, there's enough property here, to do that. But you have to have a plan in place, and you have to have
infrastructure. You have to have the infrastructure for sure. Yeah.
Right. And they are going to be putting city sewer and water down Ortiz. So it will make it a lot easier to get that infrastructure. And you're correct. And Kelly, do you know the reason why Ikea's in Charlotte County and not Northport? Because they wanted to go down. Okay. Yeah, because it's of an ordinance that they have in Northport about having open vehicles out overnight in a location, and hopefully they'll eventually change that. And Caddy Carts, which is next to the radios, a few doors down from us, is in Sarasota County, not Northport. If you go out the back door, even like the radio station, you go out the back door of us, we're the city of Northport, but if you go out the front door, we're in Sarasota County.
Yes, I know. It's so funny.
Isn't it hysterical? I laugh at that because a lot of people don't know, well, why is the Kia dealership here? And you may not know this. Wait, there's more. I'm the chair for the Murdoch Village CRA. So when Kia dealership was going in there with the infrastructure and that, I was on a voting thing that I had my committee, I'm the chair of that, and they had to go through our committee before they went in front of the county commissioners. So I know how that all happened.
I know. Well, and it's a little unfortunate because there's a lot of tax revenue generated from it. So especially the state of Florida in general. But the city, if it had those tax dollars, that could definitely benefit the local community as well. But
can I ask a question? I know we're live here and you can say yes or no, but I know original plans when it was owned by Billy Facilla, they were originally in that property because I think you own all that property up until the corner.
He did. But they sold some of it in the buy-sell, the area that's across the little road there. The one next to us that used to be Facillo property was sold. I think there's a medical clinic going in there.
Oh, okay. Because I know they were thinking about putting in a hotel at one time too.
There's been all kinds of ideas and rumors about the property. I really don't know what they're, outside of the medical center, what's going on with that side of the property that was purchased. We still obviously have a lot of acreage that we own. And who knows?
Yeah. Who knows what will happen, especially with everything developed behind you. In fact, because you're across from West, by Westport and Northport and that, the property, just to let everybody here know too, the property below Westport was just by the same developer. Mm-hmm. So across from where our business, we own property there and we have a business there. But that property was sold to them. So there will be, where Flamingo is, it'll go all the way to 776 now. But it'll take a few years with the development. There'll be a few bridges coming over the Flamingo water or the waterway that goes by Flamingo. So there's a lot going on, and you guys are in a great location because you're not only at the north half away from the other car dealerships that
Yes.
are in Punta Gorda, but you're on the north half. And when you look at that, I'm sure you get a lot of business from Northport.
We do actually. I think we get about an equal amount from Northport and Port Charlotte. Northport's a huge market for us, and we're, like you said, we're perfectly located for a Northport buyer. But also because our product's gotten so much better too. We just are really fortunate. It's like everything's kind of working all in the right direction, with all of these developments popping up, Kia getting better and better with their product, us getting better at what we do. It's perfect. It's all the right circumstances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kelly, what is your plans for the future?
Oh, that's a big question. I'm so involved in our budgeting for 2022 that I'm just like, I'm so hyper focused on next year. My plans for the future, at least with the company, is to get even deeper into the community involvement, making sure that we're more streamlined in how we do it, so we can be more efficient with our expenditures and getting money to the people who really need it. We're going to be next year, really, our goal is not just to be the best Kia dealer, but to be the best automotive dealer in the area. So we're really focusing our sights on that. And that means from not just from a financial standpoint, but from a customer experience standpoint. Like if anybody's like, oh, I need a new car, we would be the first ones they think of whether or not they want a Kia, just because they've had such a wonderful experience with us. So we're really hyper focused on that and making sure that everybody knows that we're their dealer and we're the ones that are going to help out the community in every way we can. So
My sister-in-law has a Kia. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
From your dealership, and she's so happy with it. She's so tickled with it.
Yeah,
And
oh my gosh. They're great vehicles.
Great.
They're great vehicles, and now they're leaning even more towards kind of like having luxury features. So people who were Kia drivers 10 years ago that come in and test drive one of the newer vehicles can't believe that they're Kias, So like I said, we're fortunate that we're a Kia dealer because the product just keeps getting better and better. They're great vehicles for sure. Yeah.
So Kelly, thank you so much for coming on today. And I really want to recommend for our people and our audiences out there to really think about going to the Kia Fest, Fall Fest, this Saturday. And I have Karen back in the screen here. This
Sorry
Saturday.
about that.
And what is the address in case anybody's not familiar with where the Kia dealership is?
Yeah, we're at 202 Tamiami Trail. So we're right on the border of Port Charlotte and Northport, Cranberry and 41. The event will be right outside on our lot. You can't miss it. It'll be right there. Free parking, free everything as far as to attend. And then obviously, please support local businesses, support local nonprofits, visit their booths, visit their food trucks. We've got good ones. So it's going to be a great day. And if you need more information, make sure you go to our Facebook page, our Facebook event page, and all of the information is right there as well.
And Gil, you had a question for Kelly. You may as well ask her now that we have
I
her
do?
on.
What's my question?
About the tent, about holding the tent down.
Oh, well, yes. Maria and I both were talking about it, and I have a tent, but I was at the Chambers golf event last Saturday.
That was very windy.
It looked like the wind was picking up, and I'm thinking, I don't have any way to hold my tent down except holding it by myself. So I just didn't know if you have some tricks. Make sure that the tent doesn't fly away.
Most people either use, like a water barrel or sandbags to keep their tent down. But we also have some extra cinder blocks and things like that. So we'll pull some out. But sandbags are probably the easiest to use if you have any. But we'll pull some cinder blocks out, and we can get.
I'll get there early so I can get some cinder blocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and for our audience out there, Gail and I, Gail and Marie here, we will be there at the Kia Fall Fest, and we are having you make. We're not making them for you. We are having a craft there of beaded keychains.
Yes.
And we were just
Youth
trained how to do those. So we're not the craft people of the world, but we're there.
Marie and I are not the artist, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, just to be clear here, you're not going to be with real artists. You'll be with real crazy people. But we are not the artists out there, but we have a big heart and we're willing to attempt it. So
I'm sure the kids will love it. I'm sure the kids will love it.
Yeah. Thank you guys all so much for being here. This is Marie LaBrosse with my co-host today, Karen Frasero. Gale West, thank you for coming on with us. And Kelly Johnston, what a pleasure. And finding out that you really have art in your heart.
Oh, yeah.
And from Kia, Port Charlotte, what a business that promotes and helps the community. Thank you so much for being with us all today. Everybody, see you again next week on Kaleidoscope of the Arts.